Hey guys, what is up? It is me again. I'm gonna have a super quick video for you today, and it's just something I kind of discovered going through research for uh, different topics of what to talk about on this channel. And I learned the proper diving technique that the Stuka pilots used. I kind of wanted to test it out here. This is gonna be my first time ever trying to do the maneuver. So to start off, we have to get to 4,600 meters or 15,000 feet. And right now, as I am filming this, I am at just about 2,800. So I cut out a lot of the prep beforehand. We're going to get through this. Was in the cockpit view. So we're in the Stuka, the Ju-87 dive bomber, primary dive bomber of Germany during the Blitzkrieg. And this maneuver is kind of what made this plane so potent. It very much strikes me, pun intended there, as this plane was designed almost like the first cruise missile. It would kind of pack just one or two heavy bombs with it and do this diving maneuver from a massive height where it knew it really couldn't be touched and dive straight down at an enemy. So it was a way that, I mean, they definitely lost Stukas doing this, but they had to, you know how the Germans loved testing people during this time frame of world history, but they tested pilots rigorously to figure out G tolerances because of this maneuver. So I will kind of walk myself through it before I even do it here, and I've got the article pulled up, so I'm going to be reading from that. So flying at 4,600 meters, there is a bomb sight window on the floor of the Stuka, and I'll throw that in here and just kind of show you I took a video earlier of trying to fly over a target with that and picking it up. It's a very small window. These pilots were looking through a very small window, and they had to precisely line it up. But once you get your target there, you actually flip the plane upside down, throw your dive flaps in, your air brakes, and you roll over and go down that way onto your target. So you actually overshoot the target, flip, and come back down. You actually attack from behind that target, which I think is a fascinating way of aerial bombing, because instead of either going crossways across the target or coming up on the target from the front, you're actually able to attack the target from behind where it might not be expecting it. So I can imagine that this was a fairly intense maneuver for individuals on the ground. The Jericho sirens that are on the Stuka probably did not help their morale on the ground at all, and we are actually getting very close to our 4,600 meters here. So I gotta circle back around, but I'm gonna jump into the cockpit view here once we hit that 4,600, and we're gonna see if we can line up that target with the bomb sight window and see what we can do, and find out how good of a Stuka dive bomber we actually are. So still in War Thunder. I don't remember if I had said that earlier, but this is they've got several different models of the Stuka available. Okay, there it is. So we'll dive in here, and I need to go a little bit more left. All right, let's see if that's it. So that little window, that is all I'm looking at. I think we just passed it. Yep. Okay, so air brake, roll, and okay, I can see where the G-forces are coming in. We actually went too far, or not far enough. Okay, so air brake is on, kill the throttle. I'm gonna have to back out just a little bit because I'm overshooting just a smidge. And then right about there is when they would have pulled and gone out. And yeah, the article here says that they were pulling about 5 Gs, but we did get them. We ended up pulling about 8, I think I saw there. So we'll take the air brake off, throw throttle back on, get pulled out of there. But um, yeah, that was definitely an uh, intense diving technique, intense bombing technique that these pilots would have gone through, and that I just wanted to share that with you guys. That I ended up finding that in an article. They they were running through tests here. Stuka dived at 60 to 90 degrees, and they actually did have a nice little uh, compass or kind of degree finder there on the side of the window. Um, but through testing, they were the pilots were suffering vision impairment from seeing stars. They were kind of graying out. They still had full motor function to be able to fly the plane through this maneuver, but they would start graying out through the dive, through pulling out of the dive, and the Stuka pilots were actually um, really getting worn down through this maneuver simply because of how intense it was. And the British Air Force also got their hands on a Stuka, and they got their hands on how they were training their pilots and going through it. A British test pilot uh, tested the Stuka, and he said he's flown a lot of dive bombers. It's the only one you can truly dive vertically. So that's coming from Eric Winkle Brown, and he said sometimes with these dive bombers, maximum dive is usually 60 degrees. So even with like the Dauntless dive bombers that the U.S. Navy had, or any of the dive bombers that Japan used in their efforts during the Second World War, you didn't get a true straight 90-degree dive like you could with the Stuka, and that was some new information for me. I wanted to pass that along. So check in with the next video, and we'll see what we got next.